It was a late Harmattan afternoon in the small town of Ketojo, nestled on the outskirts of Lagos. The sky hung low, grey and quiet, and the dust stirred lazily on the red, cracked earth roads. 9-year-old Adanna, with her skinny legs and bright eyes, walked alone on the untarred path that led through the bushy back way to her grandmother's house. A worn school bag bounced gently on her back, her tiny fingers curled around the leash of her towering companion, Bruno, a thickly muscled Belgian Malinois with alert eyes and a calm, little grace. Adanna had grown up with Bruno. Her late father, Sergeant Chokuma, had served in the Nigerian military canine unit before he was killed in an ambush in Maiduguri. Before his death, he trained Bruno himself: obedience, aggression control, rescue. The bond between dog and daughter had been deep since Adanna was a toddler. Now, in a world that never felt fully safe, Bruno was more than a pet, he was her protector, her last connection to her father. The backroad to Grandma's was rarely used. It sliced through thick grass and scattered trees, past abandoned shrines and whispering palm fronds. The path was shorter but often avoided due to old village rumors, stories of spirits, thieves, and the unexplained. But Adanna wasn't scared. With Bruno beside her, she felt invincible. Just as the shadows started lengthening, a low, mechanical rumble echoed from behind. Adanna turned. A motorbike sped up the path, fast and without warning. Dust sprayed around its tires as it screeched to a stop just a few feet from them. The rider, a man in a dark hoodie and torn jeans, removed his helmet. His face was shadowed, but his eyes gleamed with something dark and dangerous. He looked down at Adanna, then at Bruno. A slow smile crept across his face. "You dey go where, small madam?" he asked, voice oily and teasing. Adanna tightened her grip on Bruno's leash, heart thumping. She didn't reply. Something in her instinct screamed that this wasn't an ordinary passerby. The biker's smile widened. "I go drop you for where you dey go." "Enter bike," he said, voice lower now, more forceful. Adanna shook her head silently. Bruno stiffened beside her, eyes locked on the man. His ears were pricked, body tensed like a coiled spring. The man's tone turned threatening. "I say enter bike." He made a move toward her, too fast. And Bruno lunged. The leash tore from Adanna's grip as the dog sprang with a terrifying snarl, aiming directly for the biker's arm. The man shrieked, scrambling to pull a weapon from his waist. Adanna screamed, backing away, but tripped over a root and fell. She watched as man and dog collided in a frenzy of barks, fists, and snarls. Somewhere inside her, panic twisted into something new, a cold awareness that this was no ordinary incident. This man wasn't acting alone. And someone, or something, was watching from the woods. Adanna lay frozen on the forest floor, her knees scraped, her schoolbag torn beneath her. Her breath came in short, sharp bursts as she stared at the fight just meters away. Bruno was relentless, teeth flashing, muscles taut with every move, trained to disable not kill. The biker screamed as the dog latched onto his forearm, twisting and jerking until the weapon, an old rusted dagger, dropped to the ground with a clatter. But then, from the thicket ahead, a whisper of movement. Adanna turned sharply. Between the trees stood a figure, silent, still, watching. A tall man, dark-skinned, wearing a camouflage jacket too big for his frame and a cap pulled low over his brow. He didn't move, didn't blink. Just watched. Like a predator in patience. A chill crawled down Adanna's spine. She scrambled to her feet. "Who are you?" she shouted, but her voice cracked halfway. The figure stepped forward slowly, deliberately. Bruno paused for a second, his ears twitching. The biker lay on the ground groaning, his arm bleeding badly but his eyes darting toward the figure. The man in the camouflage spoke, voice deep and flat, "Call the dog off." Adanna froze. Her legs felt weak beneath her. "Why should I?" He smacked. "Because the real danger hasn't started yet." Suddenly, a loud bang cracked through the air. A gunshot. A warning shot, fired into the ground beside Bruno. The dog leapt back instinctively, circling Adanna protectively, snarling now at both men. The groaning biker used the moment to crawl toward his fallen bike. The man with the gun held it steady now, pointing not at the dog, but at Adanna. "Your papa ruined things for people like me," he said. "But you can fix that." Adanna's voice quivered. "What do you mean?" The man didn't answer. He glanced once at the wounded biker, then back to her. "She looks just like her mother," he muttered. He knew them. This wasn't random. From the corner of her mind, Adanna remembered the hushed argument her mother once had with Grandma about a man named Adanna, a disgraced soldier, court-martialed after a failed mission where her father died. Her mother had said he disappeared. That he was dangerous. Was this him? Suddenly, another sound, rustling leaves, hurried footsteps. From the far side of the path, Mama Ejide, a palm wine tapper's wife, burst into view. She held a cutlass in her hand, breath ragged. She must have seen the commotion from the footbridge nearby. "Leave the girl alone," Mama Ejide yelled, swinging the cutlass high. Startled, Adanna stepped back, his grip on the pistol faltering. Bruno didn't wait. He launched again, not at Adanna this time, but toward the biker who had almost mounted his motorbike. The dog sank his teeth into the man's calf, dragging him down with brutal force. Adanna cursed, turned, and disappeared into the trees. Adanna burst into tears as Mama Ejide ran to her, pulling her close. "We must leave now," she whispered. "This is not over." And Adanna knew. The real danger had only just begun. The next morning, the town of Ketuojo buzzed with tension. News of the attempted abduction had spread like dry harmattan fire. People spoke in hushed tones, shaking heads, clutching children tighter. Grandma Nene kept Adanna close, her face tight with worry. Bruno sat by the door like a statue, silent but alert. The police came, asked questions, took notes. The biker, identified only as Tanko, a known petty thief from the outskirts of Oyo, was still in custody. But the man in camouflage, Adanna, was nowhere to be found. Vanished like smoke. At night, Adanna couldn't sleep. Every rustle of leaves outside made her heart race. She kept seeing that shadowed face in the woods, hearing his words. "You look just like your mother." Her mother, Adiz, hadn't spoken a word since the incident. She sat by the window, gazing into the distance, her fingers twisting her wrapper. Finally, Adanna asked, "Mama, who was that man?" Adiz turned slowly. "A mistake from long ago," she said, her voice low. She revealed what no one had told her. Adanna wasn't just a soldier. He had once been her father's closest friend. They fought together, trained together, until Adanna became obsessed with power, trafficking weapons through war zones. When Chokuma reported him, it led to Adanna's arrest and court-martial. But Adanna escaped, and Chokuma died months later under strange circumstances. Now, Adanna was back, and he hadn't forgotten. "He's not after you," Adiz said softly. "He's after revenge. Through us." Adanna felt the weight of those words settle deep in her chest. 2 days later, something strange happened. Bruno went missing. They found his leash outside the gate, snapped. No blood, no tracks. Just silence. Adanna felt hollow. Her hands trembled as she sat on her bed, clutching a small photo of her and Bruno taken at her 9th birthday. Grandma Nena called a local hunter, Baba Kazim, to help track the dog. He was an old man with sun-scorched skin and a strange glint in his eye. "I cannot they play mind game," he muttered. "First the girl. Now the dog. He wants to make you fear before he strikes." "But why now?" Adiz asked. Baba Kazim hesitated. Then, with a heavy breath, he spoke. Because tomorrow is the 10-year anniversary of Chukwuma's death. Adanna moves with symbolism. He will strike then. That night, as the town slept, Adanna heard something. A whine. A soft, familiar sound near the back of the compound. She slipped out quietly, barefoot, creeping through the darkness. There, just beyond the shed, stood Bruno. Dirty, limping, but alive. Her heart leapt, but before she could run to him, she noticed something odd. Bruno wasn't alone. Someone was crouched beside him. Adanna. He rose slowly, a calm smile on his face, and said in a chilling voice, "Tell your mother it's time to finish what we started." Adanna stood frozen in the night breeze, heart thundering in her ears. The moon cast pale silver over Adanna's face, calm, calculating, deadly. Bruno whimpered beside him, clearly injured but still growling softly, every instinct in him fighting to protect her. "I don't want to hurt you, little lion," Adanna said, his voice smooth like poison honey. "But I will, if your mother refuses to come." Before Adanna could move, a powerful voice rang out behind her. "She's here." Adi stepped into the moonlight, barefoot, eyes fierce with fury and sorrow. She held nothing in her hands, no weapons, no fear. Only truth. "Let my daughter go, Adanna." Adanna's smack faltered. "You never told her, did you?" he said. "That your husband's death wasn't just my revenge, it was your betrayal." Adanna's eyes flicked to her mother, confusion rising. Adiz inhaled shakily. "I tried to save you, Adanna. You were once our friend. But I couldn't watch you become a monster. It was never about betrayal, it was about stopping evil before it spread." Adanna's face darkened. "You chose Chukwuma over me." Adiz's eyes filled with tears, but her voice remained steady. "I chose what was right." In a flash, Adanna pulled a small pistol from his jacket and pointed it at Adanna. Bruno snarled, forcing himself forward despite his pain. Adi screamed, "Take me instead. Let her go." But before Adanna could respond, a sharp whistle pierced the air, a command. Bruno heard it. With the last of his strength, the dog lunged, faster than thought, straight for the gun. Adanna fired, but the shot went wide as Bruno collided with his arm, teeth sinking in. The gun dropped. Adiz ran to Adanna, shielding her with her body. A flashlight beam split the night. Baba Kazim and two local vigilantes rushed in with cutlasses and Dane guns, called by Adanna's earlier cry. Adanna struggled, tried to flee, but Bruno held on, refusing to let go even as blood stained his coat. It took all of them to finally restrain him. Adanna was arrested that night, for attempted kidnapping, assault, and conspiracy in the death of Chukwuma. His crimes had finally caught up with him. Bruno was taken to the vet, where he fought to recover. Adanna never left his side. His courage became a legend in Ketoja. Weeks later, standing beside her mother and grandma, Adanna told her story in school, and her words stayed with everyone. Bravery isn't about being strong, it's about standing up even when you're scared. Bruno taught me that. And Mama taught me, the truth will always protect us, even when lies try to destroy us. She looked into the distance, her small hand resting on Bruno's scarred head. And from that day forward, no one underestimated the heart of a little girl. Or the fierce love of a loyal dog trained by a soldier. Who lived on through both of them.